Hello. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful day. There we go. There's some horses and a black and white dog. There's some more horses through there, can you see? Yeah, so we're just out on a bit of a bimble, chilling out as you do. I just finished making a video about the guidelines, the government guidelines, because they've updated what they said initially. About a week or so ago, they updated it to include things like you can go out and do yoga, attend to an allotment. If you want to take a break now, you can. If you want your lunch on a park bench or sitting on some grass, as long as you're self-isolating and all the rest of it. A few other changes: you're allowed to travel. You're not allowed to travel too far, and you must travel. Your exercise must take you longer. How would anybody know? Your exercise must take you longer than it takes to travel there. Just check, yeah, the mic's on. There we go. Can't play ball on this section. On the next one. Yeah, so I made a video about that because I've had 2 comments. One reasonable, one just ridiculous. But I've seen comments on other channels. You know, you're disgusting, you should be ashamed of yourself, you're breaking the law, you're putting people in danger. Lockdown means stay at home. Well, lockdown doesn't mean stay at home. Lockdown means you can go out of your home for certain reasons, to work, shopping, all the other thing. They've changed now the shopping. It was essential shopping, and they've decided now that everybody's essential is something different. So if a shop sells it and you want to buy it, that's essential. If it's beer, chocolate, fairy cakes, paint, wallpaper, whatever, if they sell it and they're open, that's essential to you. So they have changed things a little bit, but I mean, that doesn't matter to a troll. It doesn't matter to somebody who just wants to spit some venom. The truth doesn't matter. The facts don't come into it, because you're going to say whatever they want to say anyway. Wait there, Bo, please. Wait there. Bloody fly. A fly trying to nest in my neck, I think. Yeah, it's a lovely day. Quiet and peaceful. So there has been changes, but of course there are only changes to the guidelines. I'm going to make this a premiere, so when it goes up I've no idea. And things may have changed again. Bird, come here. Maybe we'll be out of lockdown by then, if this goes up in a week or so. But I said in the video, live your life, you know. Concentrate on you, mind your own business, let others live their lives. That's all you need to do. We've become a nation of little tail tits And I see it on the web. I see the police asking for people to dob their neighbours in. Have you seen your neighbours have anybody visit? Have they had a party or a barbecue? Let us know. Do your own police work. Wow, what a day. So, I thought I'd do a little premiere. It's been a couple of weeks or more, hasn't it? And I know some people like that. And we end up having a little group of people. And I virtually know every single one of them, which is lovely. So it's very comforting, I think, doing a premiere for lots of people. There's familiar people, familiar names that crop up for everybody. Come on, my friend. Now, some of these horses have got the right idea. Just chill out. Just be. And what I do, when I see all the nonsense, people saying you're putting other lives in danger by walking your dog, I've got a dial, it's called Bliss, and I just turn it up a little bit, and I turn my Bliss up, and I let them get on with it. Because somebody told me years ago, they said if you meet somebody and they're absolutely certain, and they tell you this for a fact, that 2 + 2 is 5. Just say, okay, yeah, I'm happy for you. If that's what they want to believe, then really who are we to piss on their parade? And if you haven't got the intellect to do just 2 minutes worth of research, if you can't just type into Google, am I allowed to exercise? Just that phrase, just that tiny bit, if you can't find it within yourself to do that, then you've got no right to complain, because what you're complaining about, you're complaining about your thoughts, you're complaining about what you think should be allowed, what you think is against the law, what you perceive that person as doing something wrong, something terrible, and it's just your collection of thoughts. And I would say, keep your thoughts to yourself if you're really uncertain of what the hell you're on about. It's a strange world. But eventually we'll look back at this lockdown and there'll be 2 things. We will see just how ridiculous people were. Actually, it's 3 things, but yeah, we'll see how ridiculous people were, thinking their silly little thoughts as if they're reality. When we look back at the lockdown, we will remember those that reached out, those that phoned, those that were nice or kind or just said a kind word. Those that sent us a text or a message somehow or an email. We'll remember all of that. And that's really important, to remain in contact. It's really important, but we will remember that. And I also said in the video that I was saying about these people with their false beliefs. I said about the government creating a vaccine. That's worth doing your research on. I think it's called bio something, Porto biometrics or whatever. They're currently testing vaccines. And when you look at the company, it's owned by Matt Hancock and the Secretary of State of the UK government. So the UK government will be creating the vaccine. And I said in that video, would you trust them? I wouldn't. I would never trust any government. What on earth would they put in a vaccine? How would we ever know? What would the long-term implications of that be? No, thank you. My body. Anyway, it is a beautiful, beautiful day. And it's worth getting outside if you can. Top up the vitamin D, which is great for the immune system, as we know. Just to wobble about a bit. Really good for the heart and the soul and the lungs. But mostly for the mind. For me, I find it really important getting outside. More so now than ever, because you can feel a bit cooped up indoors. We're going to go this way, Bode. Come on, my friend. Fly on the camera. Lots of flies. It's probably the horse shit attracting them. I did have a shower, so it's not me. Alright. So that'll do for the first little bit of the what is going to be a premiere. It's where I live. That's where we're heading. It's only maybe 400, 500 yards or so from here. Yep. So, welcome to the premiere, everybody, and hope you're chatting in the chat area. Say hello if you want to. If not, sit and listen. And I hope this goes some way to just removing some of the thoughts that you've had today. I hope this goes some way in giving you some sort of entertainment away from mainstream media, from the government spiel. And I hope by the time we finished, you just think, that was nice. I just wasted a little half an hour or an hour. But that was nice, just something nice to do, because the days can blur and bleed into one. Just lately, people don't know what the day is, and they're not sure what to do with themselves. The evenings can linger on, and I hope by making these videos, and they're just entertainment, you know, nothing special, but I just hope that you know, I've played my little part. I hope that in some way you can just think, oh, that was quite good, really. Yeah, spending a bit of time just listening, maybe thinking of different things, and not looking at the figures of the death count of the BBC bloody news and things like that. One of the best videos I saw just recently, my friend Marion just did a very gentle video, just bimbling around her local wood, and it was so magical. Peaceful, gentle music in the background. She just pointed out a few little things with her camera. She got bluebells in her woods and blossom on the trees, and there's dappled sunlight and water. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Marion. That was wonderful. 10-minute video, and I really enjoyed it. Watched it twice actually, because it was just peaceful, nice, entertaining. That's all these videos are. That's what they should be. And then you go out, you make a video, and then some arsehole says, oh, you're breaking the law, you're not allowed. I'm telling. Yeah, piss off, do what you like. If you can get outside, you know, it's so important. So I will finish, hopefully today I will finish a painting that's just yellow and white, and I'll show you that in the next little clip of this premiere. Until then, take care of yourselves and be well. Ta-da.
Well, it's true. She's I'm struggling already and she's not making it easier.
Hello. So, been up early. I've been doing the fence panels today. As you see, that's the difference. Hello. So I went out the back just to show you the fence panels, and my neighbour over the back was having a bit of an argument with her daughter. She's got a teenage daughter. I was going to actually show you the fence panels proper, but you know, wanted to give them some privacy. She said, I'm finding it really hard with this lockdown, and you're invading my privacy, and I want some space. And she was just going on like that. And I think the lockdown really is getting to a few people, unfortunately, and you know, that manifests itself in whatever, doesn't it, really? Ratty comments, miserable mood, whatever. I'm assuming there's, well, I do know there's just her and her daughter, so when it's 24/7 every single day, as much as you love each other, it can be a difficult time, can't it, really? And I know that on my Facebook, one or two of my friends are kind of complaining about their children. One of them's got a teenage boy. She said he doesn't do anything, he lays in bed all day, and you know, back in a minute. I should have got organised really, but I didn't. But there you go. Okay, so yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I've been up since 5:25. I'm tired now. I started the fence panels at 7:30. Took me nearly 3 hours because I finally got the stain, which is good. The only thing is I couldn't get my dark oak, so I had to get dark nut, and there is a difference, but it makes no odds, you know, as long as they're covered, then I don't mind. It's supposed to be a nice day. Well, it is a nice day. It's piping hot out there, and there's no air whatsoever, so it appears to be really, really hot. But it was supposed to be a much cooler day today, which is why I got up early and started early, and then sweated my balls off for a couple of hours. But anyway, so we've had a shower. I say we've had a lovely shower. I got a Slurpee on the go, got a vape on the go. I just thought I'd have a quick chat for some more of this premiere, really. So Somebody asked me what flavour. I got Vimto at the moment. Which is very nice. I don't vape very often, but it makes a change from having a fag, doesn't it, really? So, cheers, everybody. And I hope everybody's doing okay. It's all right to be ratty. It's all right to lose it with somebody. It's all right to be a little bit off with somebody. It's a difficult time in many, many respects, really. As much as you love your partner, your children, whoever lives with you, as much as you love them 24/7, week in, week out, week in, week out. We're up to, I believe it's 5 weeks now. Possibly it's going to be extended by a further 3 weeks. They seem to be doing 3 weeks like that. And you can understand people's frustrations, really. They're not maybe frustrated at the child or at the person, husband, wife, whoever you've got there. It's the frustrations with the whole scenario. You know, the lockdown itself, you're not at work. Perhaps you've got a queue to go shopping. Perhaps you're worried that you might get ill. Perhaps you are missing your grandchildren or your children, or you want to go and see your parents and you know you can't. And there's a lot of frustrations building up within people, and that naturally comes out with those that we love. You only have a go at those closest to you, don't you? It's as simple as that, which is a shame. But I'm sure in 10 minutes time they'll have a cold drink and she'll say, look, sorry I had a go, but you know, and then she can say, but I'm missing work and I want this and I want that, I'm worrying about this. And perhaps they can have a conversation around that. So I did say on my bimble, I was working on a yellow and white painting, mostly yellow and white, and I've completed it. So I just thought I'd spend a minute and show you. There you go. So yeah, it's mostly yellow and white. There's little hints of green and black, and there's a couple of colours in there. And really that was inspired by that little butterfly I saw, you know, the little white and yellow one. We had just yellow tips. And I just thought white and yellow goes so well. I've done white and yellow in the past, but it's not a colour that I normally use. There you go. Good look at that. Now today, what a wonderful day. Beautiful, beautiful day. So got up early, went and did the usual, so Bodhi's happy and settled. And came back and I thought, I'm really going to crack on today. Being Sunday, I'm going to crack on and see what I can get done before my back breaks in two. And then have a lovely warm shower and just chill out this afternoon, listen to music. That's what I've decided to do. And I'd done the fence panels until my body was knackered, and I thought, well, that's it, we'll stop there. I'm not going to push any more. Tomorrow's another day, plenty of time to do things. And I sat here, I put the computer on, I was fiddling around on there, watching a couple of YouTube videos and all the rest of it, and a parcel was delivered to me, which is 2 solar lights. I decided to get solar lights for the back garden because that's in the sun all day, every day. And I have got one light out there, but it's just a rubbish light. But these, I'll show you one day, these are a ball. They're about a foot or so wide. And they've got an LED that changes colour. You've got 7 different colours, and it just slowly goes through these 7 different colours every night. So I just thought they'd be really nice. And I'm probably going to hang them on the corner. Might hang them on both corners of the shed that is facing direct sunlight. or I might just leave them as they are, because they've got a hanger, they've got a foot, a flat foot, and they've got a hanger, and I could just put them on my table, just have them on my table for when I eat out there, which I've been doing. So yeah, decisions to make and what have you. So I thought I'd get up and crack on and do things and what have you. So this parcel arrived, which sometimes they deliver on a Sunday, which is fine. I was just doing something on there, so I thought I'd go and get it in a minute. I didn't know what it was, so I finished on there, went to get it, and I got 3 CDs that I ordered a little while ago. All came separate. And I thought, wow, post on a Sunday. Maybe they're playing catch up, because some postmen are ill and self-isolating or whatever, and I know that the post is a little bit iffy in certain places. I've had post come from like 50 or 60 miles away, and it's taken 8 or 9 days. But I've also had post that's come from 200 miles away, and it's taken a day. So I do know that it's a little bit iffy at the moment. The fence stain has taken very nearly 4 weeks. If you remember, I ordered that on the first week. I had 1 tub, but I ordered that the first week of the lockdown, and if we are on the 5th week, and I believe it is, then it's taken 4 weeks, or just about 4 weeks, and I never thought I was going to get it. So yeah, I thought that's very odd on a Sunday, really. But anyway, whatever, catch up time and all the rest of it. Decided what I'm going to have for roast dinner today, being a Sunday. And then I came in here and I finished off on the computer and looked at the day to see it's Saturday. None of us know what the day is, do we? Not really. It's all over the place. And that in itself, for the lady next door, well, I say next door, she's at the bottom of my garden, that can cause its own frustrations, really, if she thinks that she's got things to do and she might have lost a day, or think it's Friday today or whatever, because everybody's unsure. Last night was Friday, but I'm thinking it's Saturday. Got an email through. I had some work to do. It didn't take too long, so that's pretty good. Some of my work is time limited, and on there it's time limited because I got a meeting Monday, so it must be complete by Sunday night. I can just finish it off Monday morning, but for me, I like to finish it off Sunday night if it's a time limited one. And I knew what I was doing. I thought, yeah, okay, I can crack on with this. So last night, late, I was working on this work, and I thought I must finish this because it's that was Saturday night. Must get this done. It's got to be over and done with. But I have got tomorrow, Sunday. But I thought I've got this fence stain. I want to crack on and do that on the Sunday, really. So I wasn't rushing through my work, but I was just there prepared. Didn't matter how many hours it was. I was going to do it, done and dusted and complete before I went to bed on the Saturday night. And it was Friday night, obviously, because today is Saturday. So I've really lost a day, but I've lost a day, not just today. Yesterday I must have thought it was Thursday. No, what am I on about? Yesterday I must have thought it was Saturday, because today is Saturday. Today I'm thinking it's Sunday. So yesterday I thought it was Saturday. So on Friday, I don't know what the bloody hell the day was on Friday. What I thought it was anyway. But I was talking to 2 of my neighbours about a week ago, and one of them said, I've got to go shopping. Is there anything you need? I only need some milk and some bread and a couple of bits. And I said, no. I said, I'm just managing really with what I've got. I have got a delivery, and that's coming on the 2nd of May. So it's about a week away. But I said, no, thanks ever so much anyway. I could have done with some milk and a couple of bits. The reason why I said no, I didn't want them getting extra for me. If you're going to queue up, you're going to go around a shop. Certain things are limited anyway, like beans. You only have 3 tins of beans. So I just wanted them to get whatever they need. And I can manage, there's no problem. And if I was desperate, I can go shopping. But I said, why are you going today? And she said, well, we've run out. You know, it's as simple as that. And I said, bloody hell. Had you gone yesterday, it'd be much, much quieter. I mean, yesterday for the Friday, it would have been quieter than going today on a Saturday. It's going to be really busy. And she said, it's Thursday today. I said, is it? I said, it can't be. I thought it was Saturday. And I was talking to the other neighbour, and she said, no, it's not. And she looked at her watch, and she said, I don't know what the day is. And she went like that. And she said, it's Friday, not bloody Thursday. I said, I thought it was Thursday. She said, no, it's Friday. And so my first friend knew that the day was Friday. I thought it was Saturday for some unknown reason, so I'd gone on a day. And my friend who checked her watch didn't have a clue. And she said, it's Friday. She said, I honestly didn't know if it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It could be any day of the week. So we're all losing the plot in that respect, definitely. I'm sure you are too. When you're taken away from your familiar, your work and certain things that you do certain times, or you may see a family member on a certain day or a certain evening, or they may phone once a week on a certain day, and of course what's happening is a lot of people are phoning fairly regular now, so you lose the ability really to know what the bloody day of the week is. So we're doing well. We're going to have a roast dinner today, even though it's Saturday, because I've got the stuff out. I'm thinking it's Sunday, but never mind. So tomorrow really will be Sunday, so I'll have another roast tomorrow as well on a Sunday. I'm pleased that I've got a food delivery coming. They're so lovely around here, my neighbours, really, really lovely. I think we're just starting now to run out of things, because one of my neighbours phoned and said, have you got any Yorkshire puddings? This was last Sunday. And if you have, can I have two large ones or 4 small? So I said, yes, I have. You know, you can have some of them, then no problem. I'll put them near the gate and you can pick them up. They're frozen ones. And she said, yeah, great. And she said, also, have you got any carrots? And I went back and I had a look and I said, no. Normally I've got frozen carrots, but I had none. So she got carrots from my next door neighbour that side, and I gave her Yorkshire puddings from me. That was all fine. And then we were chatting the day after, and oh no, I'll tell you what happened prior to that. She phoned me that morning that we had a conversation. She phoned me in the morning and said, how are you doing for shopping? I said, I'm running out. I'm starting to run out of stuff now. And she said, okay, I've got a delivery that I don't need. So do you want my delivery? It doesn't matter who with, whichever shop, you know. And I said, yes, please, that's great. Anyway, cut long story short, there was a lot of hassle over it, really, because she changed her name to my name on it. And then when I went on it, I had to log in as myself. But my email was already registered, so it had 2 emails to it. And they scrapped it. They scrapped the delivery, so I lost that, which is a real pain. But then I had a conversation with her in the day, and we were chatting about food and you know, just running out and that. And I said, anything you need, let me know. And she said the same with me. You know, you can have whatever you have. And she said, Nikki went shopping the other day and has got a load of stuff. So if you ever run out, you know, go and see her. So that's great. Then I got an email that evening from another neighbour saying, if you're quick, you go on Asda, they got 4 slots on this particular week, which was the 2nd of May. I don't know whether the May begins 1st or 2nd. Well, obviously it begins bloody 1st, but I don't know whether the week begins 1st or whatever. So it's on the Saturday, I believe, on the 2nd. Yeah, so it's only a week away now. Yeah, go on there quick. They got 4 anyway, so I went on and I got 4. And I phoned another neighbour and I said, do you need a delivery? If so, go on Asda. So we're all helping each other and we're getting slots, and if we don't need a slot, then we give it to another neighbour. Things like that. It's lovely, isn't it? It really is. When you all pull together like that, it's a great thing. It just reminded me of something. Years and years ago, I was very friendly with a traveller, a female traveller, years ago, donkeys years ago, and she broke her back in an accident, and she can now drive, which is wonderful, but I mean obviously she was very, very poorly, and the council put her into bricks in this particular place, and slowly she was getting better, recuperating and what have you. Opposite this place was just barren land. There was a lot of bloody stinging nettles and brambles and stuff like that, and then a great big fence right at the bottom, and then like an A road. So it wasn't a great thing to look out at, but you know, whatever, it's better than looking at somebody else's house. And cut a long story short on that, she got a council garage as well in a block just 100 yards away, which she didn't use because she had a van and it didn't fit in the council block. But chatting to people, she got chatting up and down the roads, and about 4 doors away, she never knew, was another traveller who had had a similar-ish accident and been housed. So there was 2 travellers together in the same tiny little road, 10, 15 houses. And there was a spare property, an empty property, and another traveller moved into that property. You couldn't write it down, you couldn't believe it, but it's true. 3 travellers, new age travellers, moved into this place. When she started to get much better, and with the other 2, they decided to go over and they trimmed all of that land down, and they pulled all the stinging nettles up and brambles and all the rest of it. Spent the whole summer doing it. And the following summer, they went over there and they erected a swing, a slide, and a couple of little bits and bobs that they bought. So the kids had a little playground area. It was just barren land, nobody wanted it, so yeah, go for it kind of thing. And by then, the 2nd year in, they knew everybody up and down the street. So little old ladies was coming over and they'd plant little flowers and stuff like that. Great idea, wonderful idea. And then they decided to use the garage as a shop, but not a shop. So what they did, one of them got a card for, it was like a macro card or something like that, like a business card, which meant he could go shopping and buy 200 tins of beans, you know, 200 tins of peas, 200 tins of carrots, things like that. And the price of a tin of beans from 45p would cost him 22p. So he let everybody know up and down the street, and said, you know, anything you want, just let me know, have it at cost, because I mean, it only cost him a little bit in diesel, but he wasn't going to charge that. So everybody started shopping with him. They started putting the shops out of business, basically. Great idea, wonderful idea. So everybody was chatting. Little old lady was planting flowers. There was some old guy who made a couple of benches, and they used to sit out there of an evening, have a smoke and a drink and all the rest of it. Kids used to play all day, absolutely lovely. And somebody decided to report them. So the council came along and gave not an eviction notice, but a notice for dispersal of their land, that barren land. And all equipment must be taken off, or it would be forcibly removed in 7 days. And they didn't take it off. They said, you know, fuck you to the council. And the council came along and trashed everything and put up a fence, so they couldn't use the area. Council don't want it, nobody else wants it. It was all cut down, all lovely and smooth, children playing in the summer, little old ladies sat there having a cup of tea with each other, and they decided to get rid of that. And then obviously they found out, I don't know how, but they found out about this garage, and they gave the guy who had the, oh no, she had the garage, but they gave the guy who was running it an eviction notice. He never left in the end, but they closed the garage down, and he still continues to live there, I believe. But that's just how stupid people can be, really. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, where my mum used to live, a little village, it's called Steventon in Oxfordshire. Many years ago, there was an Arab who went there to visit, and he loved it, and he stayed for a little while. He absolutely loved the village of Steventon, and you can Google it and have a look and what have you. And right in the heart of this village is a huge plot of land that has been put over to allotments, and there's about 1,000 allotments in there, something like that. He bought the land and gave it to the people of Steventon, and he said it can never be built on. You can only grow fruit, veg and flowers, anything that's going to grow. That's all you can do. So that's been working obviously ever since. And then he bought a plot of land that we called the Copse, C-O-P-S-E. He bought that, and again, nobody can ever build on it and all the rest of it. That's just for leisure, keeping fit, whatever, for the villagers. And we used to go up there as kids and pick primroses and bring them back to my mum, and there's all sorts of little wildflowers and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a wonderful thing that he did. Now, in that village, the allotments are absolutely teeming. You can imagine, absolutely teeming with onions and whatever, carrots, cabbages. There's apple trees in there, cherry trees, and it goes on and on and on. So much food is in that village that probably every 5th house used to have a table outside with free written on it, and you'd walk past and there'd be apples and carrots and potatoes, radishes, swedes. It went on and on and on and on. And the council decided to write to everybody and tell them that they weren't allowed to have these tables out selling their goods. Nobody was selling, they were all giving it away, and everybody ignored it. And they had a couple of parish meetings and said, you know, we're not selling, we're not making money off this, we're not profiting, it's free. We've got an abundance of stuff, so it's free. And then the council decided that they were a trip hazard, so there could be no more tables put out. Isn't it bollocks, eh? What a world we live in, where you can't do good to your fellow man. And there's a lot of that going around. I know of a couple of different places in the UK where I used to park up in my motorhome a lot. And one of them is in Cumbria, and there's 2 or 3 others actually, but I mean there's certainly 2. Yeah, 2 main ones that I can think of. And travellers have been parking there forever, literally forever. And I know travellers back in the 60s that were parking there, and they still park there now, or they used to. One of them in particular, I'll tell you, I wasn't going to tell you, but I can. It's called High Hill, and it's in Keswick. Now that place, I have known old travellers using it for generations. And I parked there for a number of weeks, no problem. The council came along 2 years ago, I believe it was now, and because I had a friend down there, and they put posts in, and then the signs went up, no overnight parking. Now that's done so that you pay to use the campsite, which is only a couple hundred or so yards away. But that area has always been used by travellers, and it goes nowhere. It's just a road that goes nowhere, it just stops. And they've always used it all the way up. One night I was there, there was 17 vans there one night. That was the most ever. But any night, there would always be 4 or 5 of you, any night. But one particular night, there was 17. I got out and counted them, because I thought, bloody hell, there's a lot of us here. It was great, wonderful. And we would all help each other out in lots of ways. You know, somebody would go shopping and bring bits back for other people. Somebody would go and get some water and dish it out to 2 or 3 different vans. And we spent time, we had a barbecue, we spent time chatting to each other of an evening, getting to know each other and all the rest of it. One of the guys down there, a good friend of mine, he got a job in the local town, Keswick. Because I noticed there was a particular shop with an advert, and I said to him, would you be interested? He said, oh yeah. He went down and he got a job. Absolutely wonderful. And that job meant that he could get some food and give that out to people. It was absolutely wonderful. And then they put a block on it. No overnight parking. And the reason? No reason. Nothing. No reason at all. And the truth is, it's down to money. I think the campsite, he probably is a councillor, or he's in with a council, or he's given them a bit of a bung, and he said, put these bloody signs up, stop people, direct them into me, into my multi-million-pound site. Just wrong, isn't it, really? Anyway, that's enough from me. I just thought I'd chat and say hello and all the rest of it. So we're having a little vape, and we're going to finish my Slurpee. Might go and sit outside for an hour. I'm not going to do any more staying in until tomorrow morning because it's just too hot now. I'm not working when it's hot. I was knackered this morning when I did it anyway. I only did it for like 2.5 hours, something like that. Okay then. Hope everybody's okay, and I hope everybody's chatting in the old chat area. So hello, if you are there. I'm sure you are. It's nice to do this every now and then, just to sort of connect with people, and it's nice to feel that you're connected as well, because a lot of people watching this or commenting will perhaps be living on their own or just with their partner or whatever. Hello. Hello. Are you okay? Are you okay? I love you. I kissed your nose. Hey, long nose. Oh. Look. His old Bode come to see us. He wants to climb inside my beard. Bode, please, don't keep punching me, okay? Okay, there's no need to punch me in the face. Alright? Oh. Hello. So these are my little lanterns. They're glowing up at night. £9 each on eBay. Look at the floor. Yeah, I like them. No, I'm not playing ball, darling. Yeah, they're nice. There you go, bit of peace. Nice and peaceful tonight. There we go. Bit of a splash of colour. Move, Bud. I'm not playing ball, am I? It's night time. Come on. Nice. There you go. Have a peaceful evening, everybody. Cheers. Hello. So in the last video I got attacked by my dog. Bless him. It is funny. 9 times out of 10 when I make a video, he comes in doing a bit of video bombing. Oh, don't forget me, Dad. Jealousy. That's what it is. No, tired voice because I've only just woke up. 1:30 in the afternoon. Lazy sod, and I? No, I've been up since about 5. The summers always do that to me, wake me up really early, far too early, and I cannot get back to sleep, and I lay there. I'm often in pain in the mornings, as you know, so I lay there trying to go back to sleep, and I can't go back to sleep. So the best thing for me is to wake up, have a Slurpee and have my meds, sort myself out, and then if need be go back to bed. And today is a go back to bed day, and it's Sunday. It's really Sunday for a change. So yeah, it's very quiet, very peaceful. There's a few people out and about doing gardening I can hear and stuff like that. I've got the windows open. 2 neighbours walking past now. Don't know if you can hear them, or birds, or air. We've got some breeze blowing through the trees, which is really, really lovely. Very, very nice. So I got up early, about 5:30. By 7 o'clock I was quietly staining the fence panels because I looked at the weather and they said it's going to rain. And so far, piping hot sunshine here at the minute. So we'll see. It's 1:30, 20 to 2. Boiling hot day at the moment. But I managed to get all of the back done that I showed you in video. There was only 2 panels, but I got that done. And also I went round the side that has my bins in, so there's 3 panels, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5. So 3 panels round there. So I've done all them, which leads me to do, or leaves me to do the bigger of the 2 sheds. The side fence panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fence panels. And then the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So probably another few days or whatever, or another week, we'll see all that lot complete, and that'll do for a year, however long staying lasts. I bought quite a good make. I bought Cuprinol, and apparently that's quite a good make. So we're just chilling out now after my little nap, my much needed nap. And I'm going to cook some food later. I only did 1 roast dinner yesterday, so I'm going to cook a fresh roast dinner today as well, and that's the last of my meat. So not sure what I'm going to do. I have got some frozen sausages, some frozen bacon and bits and bobs, so I'm sure we'll survive. I'm listening to, I will be listening to a CD after making this, which is called Door of Faith by Krishna Das. I love Krishna Das. I've got, I think 8 or 9 of his albums, and this came through just yesterday. So I'm really pleased to get this. Second hand, but it's mint condition. Played 1 track and it plays absolutely perfect, so I should be listening to all of that in a bit. Krishna Das, I love to listen to Krishna Das at night, and so far I have 2 of his CDs that to me are the favourite ones at night. And it's music you don't need to listen to or to know the lyrics and what have you, and it kind of washes through me. I absolutely love it. So yeah, there's my little secret of what gets me off to kip sometimes. Now then, here's my Slurpee. What have I got today? Look at this. Oh, I was on the phone yesterday to my friend Marion, and she said, "Are you still making your frozen Slurpees?" And I said, "No, not really. I used to have 2 or 3 of these per day when I first bought my machine, and that carried on for months and months and months because I bought it at the right time. And then it got to winter, and I just had the odd one whenever. As you know, I've got a funny voice anyway, my speaking voice. If I speak too much, my voice hurts. My throat hurts, rather. Not my voice. My throat hurts. Sometimes, because of the work I do, sometimes that involves a number of phone calls. And I find that my voice gets tired, and then of an evening a friend might phone or something like that, and I might have an hour on the phone or even more. I find that my throat is quite sore. It's very odd, really, so I'll make one of these. But to answer Marion's questions, no, I've stopped really making these. However, because we've got beautiful weather now, why not? So I looked through the freezer, and I've got strawberry, blackcurrant, and there was a few blueberries. Oh, I'm loving it as well. Getting all the pips around my teeth. Like a meal in one, isn't it, I tells you. So yes, Marion, now I am. So I've got it out. I'm going to leave it out as well, because when you put things like that away, you tend to forget or not bother. So if I leave it out, I should make at least one of these every single day now, throughout the rest of this year, probably. Maybe until we get to the winter time again. Oh, that is nice. Glorious. Very nice. Thank you, Marion, for kind of spurring me on and reminding me. I hadn't forgotten. I was going to get it a couple of weeks ago. I sat outside and I was piping hot. And at that point, I had about a quarter of a bottle of some fizzy water, you know. So I drank that instead. And I did think then, oh, I've run out of that fizzy water. I can make a Slurpee, you know, a really freezing cold icy Slurpee. But never did. So Marion sort of spurred me on. So, this is going to be the end of the premiere, this little bit. Because this should take us up to about the hour, shouldn't it, really? I think an hour's enough of my dulcet tones for anybody, really. But in this bit, I'll talk about dreams for a second. A friend of mine is a carer. She works in a care home, and she works some very odd shifts all over the place there. I never know when she's working, but sometimes she will start work at 4 p.m. So she's had kind of all day, you know. And she was saying that she gets some very weird, really weird dreams, particularly with this lockdown. And why is that? And then I saw on, I think it was on Facebook, that somebody else had put about their dream. This person said, I'm having some weird dreams last night, and then they went into their dream. So why is that? Why are people, or some people, dreaming very weird things during this lockdown? Well, what it is really, we get about 4 dreams, well, so they say, we have about 4 dreams per night, and we tend to remember 2 of them at times. Of course, there's some people who never ever remember a dream, and other people, as we know, they remember every single dream in fine detail, and they tell us about it, which is pointless because it didn't happen, but that's what happens. Yeah, so what happens now, or what is happening now, is that you've got the time to process that dream. That's the only difference. So it's not weird dream. The dream has probably always been weird for you. You've probably always had weird dreams. But you're remembering all the details now because you're not going to work and you're sat around and you're thinking, and something jogs your memory normally that happens during the first part of the day, first 2 or 3 hours. And you think, oh yeah, and then you start thinking about that dream, and then you start remembering what that dream was all about, and all the weird sort of stuff and all the rest of it. But it's purely because of that reason. It's because we've got the time now to process it. And what happens often prior to all this is that you would have had your routine, you would have got up, got dressed, showered, whatever you do, go off to work, and probably not thought about your dream because you're busy thinking, where are my keys, where's my wallet, is my hair looking bald or lovely. Driving off to work, and you know, you got a meeting at 5 o'clock in the evening, you got to get all your paperwork sorted for that, and you got to make a phone call at 11, and you got that in your head. So it doesn't give you the time to process things normally. Occasionally we do, you have quiet moments at work, and you might suddenly think, oh, that's weird last night, and then you start remembering the dream. But it is having that time, having that space in your head to actually bring that forward again, to remember that. So I think that's what happens really in this sort of lockdown time, is that we've simply got time, and time allows the brain to settle. I mean, you just out here having a slurp in the morning, you're not dressed, you're not going to work, nobody's phoning, it goes on and on, you've got all that time, and your brain just thinks of a million thoughts per day anyway, but it will think about the dream, and it will just jog your memory. So that's what's happening, I think, really, is that we just purely have processing time. Oh, I'm going to have another one of these in a minute. I've made enough for 4. So I'm going to have another one in a minute, and then I'll have 2 this evening after my nice roast dinner when it's evening time. Okay, so yeah, I haven't got a lot more to talk about, not really, but I just hope everybody's doing okay. Obviously they're very strange times and all the rest of it. We're not going to be out of the lockdown after this second lot of 3 weeks. It will be extended. And it will be extended for lots of reasons, but the government at the moment, they're looking at, I think, 5 kind of bullet points, 5 key points that they want to achieve, and we're clearly not achieving them. When you think that the lockdown, we're in like the 5th week, and we've only just started levelling off on sadly the people that have died, rather than that spike going up, it's now started to level, but obviously it's got to drop down. There's also got to be a number of people tested, and it goes on and on really. They've got 5, their criteria then for a lockdown, for the exit to the lockdown. I think it's a 5-point thing, and we're not achieving any of them, not really, at the moment. So there will be another further lockdown, and if we just accept that, it is what it is, and that's that really. You can't change it, you can't do anything about it. It's a shame because there's 7 European countries that have all started their exit of their lockdowns. Not only that, from day one, they started talking about the exit of their lockdown and how that might come about, what they'd like to achieve, what they'd like to try, and all the rest of it. Our government at the moment, this is Sunday and Boris is back tomorrow, so he may have some more news for us, so this might be old news, I don't know. But currently our government just ignore those questions, and I've seen a few of the suit that stands up there with a little placard, stay at home, save the national health, save lives, you know. Boring, 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 same old rhetoric. You don't listen to it anymore because it's just a suit going, they need to freshen that up a little bit. But at the end of that, there are questions from the press, and one of the main questions is always, do you have a plan to exit the lockdown? Is there anything in your mind? Are you currently discussing it? Is there anything that you could give to us as a, for instance? And they just brush that question aside and you say that same old rubbish. You know, stay at home, protect the national health, save lives, and it's rubbish, absolute rubbish. And it's such a shame that they're taking that sort of stance on it, because it gives nobody anything much to look forward to. And what we've got now is a lockdown for 3 weeks, extended by 3 weeks, and it will be now extended by 3 weeks. And after that, it may be extended by 3 weeks, or 3 weeks, and it goes on and on and on. They need to tell us, really, and they need to start saying, okay, we're going to extend it. We're not sure how long for, but let's do another 3 weeks. But at some stage, this is what we hope to achieve. I believe children eventually will start going back to school, and then the smaller shops will open, and then they'll open that further and further and further, and eventually it'll be the end of the lockdown. I say eventually. Let's hope that we get some kind of a summer out of it. A summer as, you know, going away or going out and about, seeing our friends and family, and arranging things and holidays, and going places, doing things that you would normally do prior to the lockdown. Because, you know, it does get to people. But if the government are not being honest, and they're not sort of forthcoming with an idea of a plan, because if they come forward with an idea of the plan, that will be something new and fresh for your brain to sort of latch onto. And it tells you there will be an end to this. Currently, our minds are saying, this is it. We're just in. Because it's all we're told. Stay at home. Protect the national health. Save lives. That same old bullshit. Same old tired rubbish. So, I don't like Boris Johnson, but I'm hoping that tomorrow when he comes back fresh and gives people some kind of an idea. You can't give a date maybe, but you can give an idea of what's likely to happen in future weeks or months. And that just freshen it all up for people to think, okay, it is again, it's only for now that we're like this, because at the moment, I'm sure we all feel kind of in limbo, kind of stuck. I've got a lot of friends with motorhomes and vans and stuff. They want to go out and about, and they can't. They can't make arrangements or plans or even think ahead too far, really. And I did say before in a video that it's a good idea, if you can, is to make an open-ended plan. Friends and friends, arrange a get-together without a date. And that'll make you think of what you'd like to do, what you might wear, where you might go, what you might eat, who might be with you. And it's good to make at least one of them, but a number of them would be lovely. But unfortunately, we live in the UK, and the government, like in the UK, they've always liked this power. They've always enjoyed that. Not to tell us too much, if anything. Always be a bit cagey. Always skirt around the edge. They've always done that as far as I'm concerned. They've never been open and honest with anybody, ever. And that is why we've got no trust in our government. And why would we? But there will be an end, you know, at some stage. And like I'm saying, I really hope that it's kind of the summer. At the moment it's springtime in the UK. We're spring until sort of June. So sometime in either June or July, it would be lovely to lift things so that maybe July, August, September, we can get out in the good weather, meet people and enjoy ourselves. But to have that to look forward to, even if it doesn't happen, to have that to look forward to, that is, you know, they're on about guidelines, about staying in and that, so a set of guidelines of how the lockdown, the exit to lockdown might kind of manifest over time. At least if we knew that, it would put us in a better frame of mind, I think. But it's not going to happen, so what can we do? All we can do is make the very most of a bad situation, a weird situation as well. And at the moment we've got good weather. I believe this week, so you'll see this probably on the Thursday, and it's probably been pissing down with rain, but I believe this week it's going to be a bit damp on and off. But if you can get outside if you can. You know, even if you have to wrap up or take an umbrella, try to get out, because it's very, very good for you, obviously. But make the best of a bad situation, really. You know, is there any books or anything that you wanted to read and you haven't really got round to it, or CDs to listen to, or start something new? I've got 3 people, Dave, Bex, and I think Susan. I think there's 3 people that have contacted me about Alison. I mentioned ALISON, which is a learning resource, and there's lots of stuff on there that are free, and you get a free certificate and stuff like that. So that's something really good to get into, and could certainly take away a number of your evenings by doing a course or several courses. And that's really something good to get into, or of course open university courses. But there are other things out there, and that just Google it. There's quite a lot that you can do, really, if you do find that you're starting to get bored, particularly over the evening. I think people can fill their days quite happily, but I think in the evening, that's when things drag on. If you live alone, and you sit there and you don't watch telly, or you're bored of telly, or perhaps nobody's phoning, or obviously you don't get visitors, things like that. But the evening is lovely right up to about 9 o'clock, and you can still go out walking, have an evening. It's wonderful. The air is lovely, particularly after a hot day when things start calming down. It's lovely. And we go out of an evening quite often. Not for too long, really, but quite often. We go out in the day. We go out first thing in the morning. I tend sometimes to go out in the afternoon for an hour or 2. And then in the evening for a shortish walk, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. Or we might go down the field and play ball for an hour. I said before about the lockdown rules don't really apply to me, not really. You know, I'm social distancing. If I see anybody, I'm self-isolating. Well, actually nobody's self-isolating, we're forced, aren't we? But you get me drift. So I am abiding by the sort of the guidelines and stuff like that, to an extent, but we still do whatever we do. Okay. That brings us to a close. Thank you very much for watching, listening, whatever. Hope it wasn't too boring, and I hope I've gone some way to distracting your minds from current events. Although we've been talking about current events, when you listen to a podcast or you watch a video or whatever, you're not yourself thinking about it, because we can get into a bit of a negative spiral sometimes. But even if somebody else is talking about exactly the same as what you normally think of, it's not you that's doing the thinking. And if you got some entertainment value out of this, Bodie beating me up or whatever, seeing me, I got my globes, they're lovely, absolutely lovely. Go through a sort of a spectrum of colour, and you couldn't see in the video, I have watched it back, you couldn't see on the floor. But you get like these little shards of light, thousands of them all over the floor. And you'd have to be there to see that kind of thing, but they look really good. So I hope I brought something into your life, some sort of entertainment or whatever. And we'll be back at some stage, but in the meantime, look after yourself, stay well. What's the saying? People are saying, oh, stay safe. That's what people are saying, aren't they now? Stay safe. To stay safe is very simple, isn't it? You wear a mask if you go shopping or whatever, and latex gloves. Keep away from people. Come back as soon as you can. The only thing the government have got right is about staying at home. The safest place for you is at home, without a shadow of a doubt. However, if you can either walk or drive to some woods or a meadowland or open fields or something, do that. You need to get out. You know, it's the 4 walls can seem very, very small after a number of weeks, and that's why I said earlier on in this video, or the premiere video, that sometimes kids can wind you up, or your partner or somebody in your household can start to wind you up a little bit. And it's only because you get thrown into a situation that's not of your making, and you've got to deal with people now 24/7, and it can be a bit taxing, a bit tiring sometimes. So most important thing is to get out. And talking about getting out, just to end the video, I've said this to 2 people and they've both done it. I was contacted by somebody who said, I'm really struggling now with my anxiety, with this lockdown. I'm very fearful of everything, touching surfaces, touching my face, all the rest of it. I'm not sleeping very well, I'm feeling upset, and it went on and on, you know. Anyway, it appears that that person didn't leave his flat for many weeks, and was then concerned about that, was then concerned about not going out. So I told him, and also somebody else who was having a few little issues, and I said, go and walk at night. When you walk at night, your brain has less to cope with. Your brain isn't going to see for miles because it's black or dark. There's far less people about, obviously, because it's night time. The air is cooler, so it feels nice on your skin. There's a quiet that settles on the land at night. And you may be lucky enough to see an owl or hear some rabbits somewhere. Just go walking on your own at night, and you'll find that your brain really, really calms down and settles down. And this person did that for a couple of evenings and contacted me and said, this has really worked, so much so I'm now going out in the mornings as well. So that's great. So if you do struggle with that sort of thing, whatever it may be, anxiety or depression, or you're just feeling concerned about being around people, or just concerned about being seen out in public. I know it's a weird thing, but some people are at the moment. Go and walk at night. You don't have to walk at 4 in the morning, but 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I think 10 o'clock is a great time to walk, because it really is just about night then. There's still some light, but it's just about night. A wonderful time. And not to be worried about the police and all the rest of it. I mean, if they do stop you, you don't have to speak to the police ever. You don't have to give them details. You don't need to verbalise one single word, and that's the best policy, actually, because they can't issue you a fine or anything if you're not going to speak. And they're very unlikely to arrest you, but if they was to arrest you and you still didn't speak, you still can't get the fine. But that's unlikely to happen. But if they did, if they pulled up beside you and said, oh, what are you doing out? It's 10 o'clock. Well, you're doing what you're allowed to do. So you're exercising. I haven't been out all day. First chance I've got, or first chance I felt like it, I'm exercising, going for a 20-minute walk, mind your own business. And why are there 2 of you in that car? Both of you without masks, both of you without gloves. Where's your distancing? Where's your social distancing then? So yeah, if you do struggle, if you want some really, really sort of lovely quiet time, go out at night. It's perfectly safe to do that. There's not many people, if anybody, about. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and for chatting in the chat area. If you did, I really appreciate it. Look after yourselves. We'll be back in a day or 2, I expect, with some more rubbish. And that's it. Thank you for joining us. Take care. Look after yourselves. And be well. Ta-ra.